She blew me off 3 times, but keeps contacting me. Now she's talking about how she's single. What to do?
Well, if you've made dates or tried to make dates and she keeps blowing you off, when she reaches out, just like I talk about in Seven Principles, get an X back, you can what I would do if you try to set several dates and she keeps blowing you off, then don't even bring up a date anymore. Send 2 to 3 text replies back and forth and a short conversation, and then say, "Hey, I gotta run. I'll talk to you later." Never bring up getting together. If she brings it up, "Hey, I want to see you. It's been a while. I'd love to get together," whatever it happens to be, she's got to bring up getting together at this point. Then it would be her idea, and in that case, she'll probably keep the date. Again, that's all detailed in the article and video, Seven Principles Get an X Back.
What's your take on a woman who sees another man a day after I broke up with her? I never felt I could trust her.
Well, obviously, he was in her life while you guys were together. So that, again, there's 2 types of women. There are women for fun and fucking, but you don't want to put a ring in their finger and you don't want them as a girlfriend, but you can have a lot of fun. Definitely wear a raincoat. And then there are women that are family oriented that are going to be loyal and faithful, and they're not going to do shit like that. They'll take time to heal and get over it. When they're ready, then they'll start dating. But if you break up with her and the very next day she's on a date with somebody else, she was already talking to that guy behind your back. And you said you never felt you could trust her, and it's like obviously your spidey sense was correct. So as Wayne Dyer used to say, when you trust in yourself, you're trusting in the same wisdom that created you.
Any advice on how to combat rejection breeds obsession? Ex left me due to not proposing, but I want to fight the feel of giving in just because I miss the good moments, even though there were lots of bad.
Well, as Donald J. Trump, your favorite president, so famously said, there's nothing like first rate pussy. So go find you some new chocha. Get out there and get after it. All it takes is, one new girl turning the corner in the grocery store and you see the most beautiful thing you've ever seen and you'll forget all about that ex. It's just like I was telling the viewer a few minutes ago. You got to get out and participate with humanity. Don't sit at home and stew because you're going to feel like shit. But if you get out and you do something and you have fun with your friends, you meet a few girls when you're out, you're going to feel better.
What do I say if she wants to continue seeing me but isn't ready to kiss?
Well, I wouldn't call if you've gone out with her a couple of times, 2, 3 times, and every time you try to kiss her, she turns her head and you get the cheek, that means she's structured. And we don't fuck with structured women here. So if you've gone out several times and every time you try to kiss her at the end of the date, she just turns her head, I wouldn't call her texture anymore. If she reaches out, she's got to be the one to bring up getting together. I wouldn't do it. And then if she does bring up getting together, then just say, hey, why don't we make dinner at my place? And if she goes, oh, I don't know you well enough yet, let's meet out, let's do this, just say, nah, it's been a long week. I'm just in the mood to hang in my place. If you don't want to get together and make dinner, then give me a call in a couple of weeks and maybe I'll be up for meeting you out there. Because at this point, she's not doing anything that is exciting or compelling. She doesn't want any kissy poo. She doesn't want any affection. She's telling you got to wait. In other words, keep taking me out and spending money on me and, maybe I'll let you kiss me on the cheek. It's like, I don't think so. Don't fuck with girls like that.
Corey, if you break no contact, does that mean she's never coming back?
Well, what it does is that the reason why you're in no contact is that you walked away from the negotiating table. So if you're trying to buy a car and the dealer wants 25,000, but all you got is 20,000, and you're like, I want to pay 20. That's all I got. They're like, well, pay 20 and we'll finance the 5. It's like, no, I don't want a car payment. I only have 20. You're like, well, I can't live with that. I can't do that. It's like, all right, well, you got my number. Call me if you guys change your mind. And then you leave, and then a couple of days later, and you're like, oh, I really like that car. If you call him back, the salesperson's going to go, oh, we got him. He'll pay our price, or he'll come up a few thousand. You're not going to do that if you want your price. And so what happens, maybe a week or so goes by, and they haven't sold that car, and then it's like towards the end of the month. And they're like, well, we're kind of slow in sales this month. This guy's willing to pay, hey, we can make $500 in the vehicle. $500 is better than making nothing and having the car continue to sit on our lot. And plus, he'll bring the car in and we'll be able to make money off of his car repairs. And they'll call you back. if they're willing to come down to your price. So the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. If you should definitely read The Art of the Deal if you haven't. I read that when I was in college, actually, and also The Art of the Comeback. Those are great books. And Donald Trump is an absolute master of negotiation. He does it all the time publicly. He threatens to walk away, threatens to cut off Ukraine aid, threatens to not talk to Putin, threatens to give more weapons to Ukrainians to try to get people to do what it is that he wants, all through leverage. And it's very effective. So if you're, because the woman is supposed to submit to the man. And if you got dumped because of unattractive behavior, and because again, women 75% of the time are usually the ones doing the dumping, then it's counterproductive because what's happening is in that time you're away, you're in no contact, her interest is starting to go up, and then you break it. It wasn't her idea to reach out. Therefore, if you try to make a date, there's a good chance you'll break it. I think it was on yesterday's live stream. Who was it? Hussein Rizik, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been in no contact, and yesterday or a couple days ago, he bitched out and broke it. And then he had a real good conversation. He was like, "Oh, this is gonna progress." And then the very next day, after she seemed to be enthusiastic, now she's all wishy-washy. I said because it wasn't her idea. And so if the relationship gets fucked up and she ends it, well, she's got to fix it. That's why. She has to submit to you. You penetrate her with your strength. And so if you chase after somebody that tried to friend zone you or stuck you in friend zone or doesn't want to date you anymore, and you keep pursuing, all that does is get in the way of her interest going back up because you want her to start to worry that maybe you met somebody else and you're totally okay with the breakup. And when she gets to experience a few days or a few weeks or a few months of life without you and no sign of you and not hearing from you, and then she hears through the grapevine that you're having a good time and life is awesome, and she's like, well, did he talk about me? Did he mention me? And you're like, no, we didn't talk about you at all. And she's like, that might be the final pressure that causes her to reach out. Now it's her idea. And then you try to set a date, then she'll be flexible because you want her to submit to you. If you break the no contact, she's not typically going to be flexible enough to go along with what you want, and you might get a date or two out of it, but then because you start pursuing her again, then she will start to act wishy-washy and non-committal to dates. So it's been perfected over the last 25 years, many years of me applying it, my friends and family applying it, and it working, and then doing this professionally for 20 years, having coached tens of thousands of men and women all over the world to use it. And it works better. It's going to give you the best chance that you're going to get her back. And there was a guy earlier, he got his fiance back, in the chat here. So you got to hold out. You got to outweight and outwit women. You're supposed to be the stronger one. So don't give away your leverage. If you chase after her, you're giving up your leverage. And what it does, it delays her coming back to you full force.